New Zealand will crack the 5 million people mark next year, according to Census 2018 data released today. The detailed information has been a long time coming and follows delays caused by a failure to collect all of the necessary data and scrambling to find the information from other government sources. Stats New Zealand confirmed today that 1 in 6 New Zealanders didn't fill out the census questionnaire. And the population boom has had an impact on electoral boundaries and the number of electorate seats for the 2020 general election. Here's our political reporter, Moir.
The population growth from 2013 to 2018 is the largest that's ever been recorded between censuses. About 61% of the population growth is in the 4 most northern regions. But when broken down by district, Selwyn and Queenstown Lakes have had the highest growth, with their populations increasing by more than 1/3 in 5 years. But a cloud hangs over these new records, given 1 in 6 New Zealanders didn't complete Census 2018, and there are question marks over how some of the alternative data has been collected. The external data quality panel set up by the government's chief statistician in August last year provided its initial report today, which endorses the statistical approach Stats NZ took to plugging the gaps. But Professor Thomas Lumley, a member of the panel, says while the dramatic recovery of data through other means has been effective, there's concern the public didn't know their data would be collected in this way.
We do not think that Stats NZ have clearly established social licence to link a wide range of government data, tax, education, health, into the census. There are distinct but related issues about cultural licence for trusted use of Māori data. And we feel that the lack of clear social licence raises ethical concerns and could impair public trust in future government data collection.
The Statistics Minister James Shaw says Stats NZ hasn't broken any rules.
They are not wrong to have used that data to use those gaps. We have had for years something called the Integrated Data Infrastructure, which is a locked up database that pulls government data and uses it for research purposes.
The government's chief statistician, Liz McPherson, admits it has been a challenge getting to this point. The new data released today means the number of general electorates increases from 64 to 65. The number of North Island general electorates increases from 48 to 49, and the number of Māori electorates remains at 7.
About 1/3 of the electorate boundaries will need to be redrawn by the Representation Commission. This is similar to the number of boundary changes in 2013, when there were 21 changes. This time there will be at least 22 boundary changes, with at least 19 in the general electorate area and 3 in the Māori electorates.
Ms McPherson has already resigned from her role following the abysmal results of the online census, but is staying on until Christmas to see through the release of data. The National Party's electoral reform spokesperson Nick Smith says Census 2018 and the slow release of data has been a dog's breakfast.
Well, Statistics New Zealand's been trying to make a silk purse out of a pig's ear.
Mr Smith says the opposition wants to read through all of the reports before making a decision about the electoral changes.
If we come to the conclusion that the data simply is not good enough and cannot be reliable, then our preference would be for election 2020 to be done on the same boundaries as 2017. It's too early to call that.
But Mr Shaw says the National Party are wrong, and if they test it in court, they'll lose. A second report from the External Quality Panel is due from Stats NZ by the end of the year. From Parliament, for Checkpoint, Moir.